Alright, time for my most nerdiest video ever. So Jordan Peele's newest movie, Nope, was partially shot with IMAX film cameras, giving you more image on the top and bottom of the frame when you go and see this movie in an IMAX cinema. And I'm here to tell you why it's worth that extra money. So first off, what does it mean when a film is shot with IMAX cameras? Why should you care? Well, basically, these cameras are like these massive devices that can record in an extremely tall aspect ratio with up to 18K resolution. Aspect ratio is basically just how big the picture is anyway, just in case you didn't know. This ends up giving us some of the most beautiful immersive scenes in the business. But because of how big the image is, it can only project the image in its original aspect ratio and resolution in an IMAX theater because those theaters are designed to project that massive image. However, if you go see a film in a standard auditorium with scenes that were shot with IMAX cameras, you'll get a cropped version of the scene. I'll put a graphic on screen of an example. Most directors who shoot this way use that extra top and bottom for peripheral. An example of this can be found in the works of a guy whose name rhymes with Christopher Crowlin. Let's take a look at this scene from The Dark Knight, shot in the IMAX aspect ratio. It'll look crappy on whatever device you're watching it on, but trust me, it doesn't look that way on an actual IMAX screen. Just you gotta trust me on this one. When looking at this image normally, it doesn't look that great. You see how you have all this, extra space above Morgan Freeman's head. It's not as tight as it should be. But Nolan uses this technology more to immerse the audience into the film, similar to like a VR experience. You're not exactly supposed to look or notice the extra space, but instead keep your focus on Morgan Freeman or whatever the focus of the scene is. Just mentally recognize that the extra space is there, and the idea is that it will draw you more into the movie. And because of how big the screen that it's being projected on is, you're likely to not even notice the extra space because your entire field of view is being taken up by the screen. Once again, the whole VR thing. Now, most directors don't shoot the entirety of their movies with these cameras for a few reasons. For one, they don't record very long. They only record for about like 3 minutes, I think, and they take forever to set back up. Two, they're big and heavy. So that sucks. And three, they sound like this when they're running.
Action.
So because of that, if a director wants to shoot with an IMAX camera, they need to pick and choose which scenes they want to film in that aspect ratio, and then shoot the rest of it with a standard normal camera, whatever they need. They need to ask themselves this question: what will benefit the most from that immersive experience? Okay, now let's get into Nope. First off, I love this film. I thought it was a fantastic summer blockbuster movie, reminiscent of something like Jaws or even Jurassic Park in a few moments, but more visually disturbing. It's really exciting, intense, but also a lot of fun. I think you guys should go out and see this movie ASAP in IMAX or not. But underneath it all, it's a film about spectacle and tragedies and our addiction to these types of things. We want to, film these things and, go viral with it, especially in our day and age of, social media and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all of this. So it makes sense that the scenes involving some kind of spectacle or tragedy would be shot with an IMAX film camera. However, Jordan Peele and cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema do something really interesting with the extra frame. Also, if I use any clips from the film, they will all be in the standard aspect ratio, so you might not fully understand what I'm talking about, but Universal hasn't released any IMAX footage from this movie, and I'm not gonna go back and record the whole movie from the theater. That's illegal.
The French guy fell off his bike. Oh man, that's precious.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. Scenes where Daniel Kaluuya's character OJ is running away from something in the sky, for example, are usually shot in IMAX. It's in those moments where the taller aspect ratio is no longer peripheral, but an active part of the viewing experience. You're constantly shifting your attention from OJ to the top of the screen, which harbors the clouds, and you find yourself looking for whatever might be moving up there. Having that extra space makes this scene that much more immersive, because you're put in OJ's shoes. You're looking up with him, and the camera never cuts away to show like a close-up of the clouds, for instance. It stays on the ground with him, keeping the focus on his character and his fear, which in turn makes the audience feel his terror and also encourages us to look up into the unknown. But the film also uses its larger aspect ratio to challenge the audience. It wants to see if you'll be looking for the spectacle in every scene. A few times in the movie, we'll get a nice wide shot where something kind of violent will happen somewhere pretty small in the frame. A certain moment involving a motorcycle comes to mind, but I'm not gonna spoil it in this video. But I think the moment that shows us this the best is actually the diner scene, which I know wasn't shot in the IMAX aspect ratio, but I want to talk about it here anyway. There's a quite fight scene in a diner where our characters are seated next to a window, but outside there's people arguing. You sort of lose focus on the conversation our characters are having because you're more interested in the conflict going on outside. Even though you have something else to look at, something kind of related to the main plot, your eyes will always be kind of glued to conflict, which leads me to one of my favorite scenes in the movie that does something similar but in that taller aspect ratio. Alright, I am going to talk very quickly about the opening scene, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, please skip ahead to the time code listed here. Come back to the video after you watch the movie. All right, I'll give you guys a few seconds. All right, back to the video. So the movie opens up with the aftermath of a monkey massacre on a TV show that was filmed in front of a live studio audience. The opening in the IMAX aspect ratio immediately gives away a huge part of the film's plot. In IMAX, you have so much extra frame to look at. You got the empty seats, you got the applause light up sign in the background, you got every part of the set, you got a guy's jacket just kind of resting on a seat in the background. Is he okay? Who knows? But more importantly, who cares? You're gonna ignore it because there's a monkey there dripping in blood. You can choose whatever to look at. It's a wide shot that doesn't cut for a long time. But you'd be insane to not look at the monkey. It's so shocking that you can't take your eyes off of it, and Peele knows that. And because of it, the moment where it starts looking at the camera feels threatening because it's breaking that fourth wall. It knows it's being watched, and you feel terrified because you're the one watching it. The film starts by holding a mirror up to the audience and showing how tragedies and violence of this nature are able to completely capture our attention, which ultimately kind of puts us in danger. And the answer to avoiding it from happening was right in front of us the entire time. We just needed to look elsewhere and stop looking at it in the eye. So that's just what I got out of it. I do think that the movie is worth seeing in IMAX or not, but I do think that the IMAX ticket is worth that extra money. I also feel like I need to make this very clear. I am by no means sponsored by IMAX or Nope in any way. I would love to be. Please give me money. That would be awesome. But I'm not. I trust me, I'm not. I just wanted to tell you guys about one aspect of the film that I really enjoyed that probably won't be talked about very much, especially since even if Jordan Peele decides to put the IMAX aspect ratio on the actual home release or not, it still won't hit the same way as it does in the theater. But anyway, that's it for this one, and what did you guys think of Nope? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to start a conversation about this one because there is a lot to unpack here. It's been a great year for blockbuster films so far, and I can't wait to see what else we have in store for us later on down the line. But until then, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.